this meeting to order. Everybody on board here? I call the meeting to order. Verification of posting. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. There's two. So any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any question to the motion?
Yeah, it said that Shawano County is not excessive compared to other employers. I'm not sure that that was what he said, because he said we were way on our benefit load.
That was a direct quote by Mr. Carlson. The benefit load was a separate commentary further down where I talk about, he did express that we would want to look at that.
That we had to move towards
Right.
making it more even, though.
Correct.
Where are you referring to that?
Page 2 on the June 2nd one. The thing showing our benefit load was way high compared to where it should be.
I thought that's what he said.
Yeah, but it says Shawano County is not excessive compared to, but that's not.
Because we were at 90-10.
Yeah, and he was trying to make the suggestion, that part was in there, he was trying to get us to move the plan design.
Yes, he was. Was there any corrections to the minutes that you want to make?
I'm not seeing where you're talking. Okay. So when you quoted him on that was in reference to wages, not benefits.
Correct. And that's why I added a portion down below about the wages, about what he had suggestions about how to approach that. So wellness program and other things like that.
Would you like to correct it saying in reference to wages?
Because I think that was what he was talking about.
Yes,
But the
I think
benefit
we
load
should-
was exactly the opposite.
I
Okay.
think we should correct it.
Okay.
You want to correct that then?
I sure can. I can add
Sure,
wages.
I will, how do you make a motion to amend that?
Yes.
As per Mr. Carlson, in reference to wages, Shawano County. Just add those.
Second to that?
I will.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then let's go to passing the minutes. I have a motion by Jerry to pass. Do I have a second? Ronnie has a second. Any questions to the minutes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes are taken care of. Thank you very much. I next need a approval to deviate, but
Jean?
I'm sorry. This is for. Sorry, I wanted to just grab you while you were here.
oh, thank you very much.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, any public comments?
Well, yeah, it wasn't a correction on the minutes, but
Do we want to deviate? You do?
Well, we should make the motion to deviate in.
Yes.
in case.
Are you making the motion?
Yes, I will.
Oh, then. I'll second. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Public comments.
wasn't a correction in the minutes, but in the minutes we did reference the stuff we'd asked for, that breakdown that I think Carlson had said that he didn't even get. They had the little charts in there that showed the benefit loads, and they had public safety and highway lumped together. And we had mentioned that it would be nice to have that separated, and we had requested it, and then we touched on it at the June 2nd meeting. We still don't have that.
I don't know what it is. I don't remember it, so I can't answer that one. So I don't know. So that's what he was talking about. To be honest with you, I don't know.
I don't remember it right now.
I don't either.
Oh, yes.
This stuff,
This stuff, right.
where they were going through the compensation levels.
I never got that.
It was an open session.
Yeah, I don't have it. I can tell you that right now.
Christine, did you get that?
This was material that was given out at
It was
committee.
given out in committee. We discussed this in open session in committee, like 3 or 4 meetings ago, and we'd been given the thing that said it was in Excel, but we were given in PDF.
Oh, yes.
And we asked for
Yes,
it in
we did.
Excel format, and we asked that the compensation be split instead of, because they just had it lumped, sheriff, jail, and highway, and we had wanted them separated because you couldn't tell what you were looking at, and he agreed, but he hadn't gotten it split apart.
It's gotta come from him, I'm assuming.
We can.
No, it was supposed to have come through, you were supposed to get that through Diane?
I don't have it.
The chart was put together by Carlson Detman, so my understanding is that finance was communicating with Carlson Detman for them to be able to generate a chart
It
similar
was
to
split,
that.
correct. Did anyone bother to ask finance to generate the chart that was split? Because that's what we asked for.
I can follow up with them and see where that's at.
And then we still don't have that other format, that other report in an Excel format.
Excel, that we asked for.
That we asked for, I don't know how many times now.
Is there any other comments? Are you supposed to minutes good?
Yeah, it just, you know,
And we will get it. Tom, will you make sure that we get that? Committee comments.
I have a question as to why, and maybe Christine can answer this. If we had 3 meetings in June, why was there only 1 meeting in our packet for the board?
Because meeting minutes from 6-2 and 6-9 had not been approved. They had not been, they were marked draft in your packets. They had not gone to Rosie's office. That is why they were not included in the packet.
And why weren't they approved? I mean, there was like weeks in between there.
Yes, 6-2 and 6-9. Okay, those were the 2 meetings that were in this committee's packet this time. You just approved them. I was given instruction a couple weeks ago that no meeting, no minutes were supposed to go out in any form, anywhere, any place except this committee. They were supposed to be marked draft.
That's right, because I
right,
want
but
them to
that
be
doesn't
draft.
mean that you withhold them from the public.
Well, then.
No, that's my fault,
That's-
because I want them draft until we approve them.
Yep.
Because I don't want anything to go in those minutes that I don't approve, or that this committee don't approve.
And I understand that, but okay, so many of the minutes that we get in our board packet
Right,
have draft on them,
and they should.
and they should.
That's
But
correct.
ours isn't going to do that. Ours isn't going in there until they're approved without a draft. Is that what you're
No, we're
saying?
gonna have the draft, we're gonna have draft on our minutes.
Yeah, but they should still go out.
But they shouldn't go until they're approved, because I don't want things to get out. We talked about this when
And-
the wages got out on the
Yeah.
internet.
And I could agree with you on that, but June 2nd to June
Fifth.
20,
Oh.
whatever, when our board meeting was,
Yes.
that's over almost 3 weeks.
I understand. The direction I received from the chair was very clear. He did not want them to go out, period.
Okay.
Marked draft, it
Yep,
was very
yep.
clear.
No, I understand
On the
that.
11th of June, my father passed away. It put me behind a great deal. So I apologize for that delay, that the whole board didn't get those minutes, but now that they've been approved with the one amended correction, they will go out to Rosie within a couple days. She's gone this week, so I wouldn't be able to get them to her anyway. So if this committee decides they'd like something different, I'd be happy to do that, but at this point, I was following the
No,
directions of the
I
chair.
understand that, Christine. I'm just wondering why, I mean, because isn't it part of our rules that
That they go
they
out.
have to be approved within 5 days or 7 days or a
I
week
do,
or something
I agree
like
with you,
that?
because I have talked with Rosie about that, but I received different direction from the chair, and I was following that.
I don't think we want to withhold our committee minutes from distribution, but they should be marked draft.
Well, I don't know how you want to do it, but either way, it shouldn't take 3 weeks to get
But Rosie, according to the new laws that have come down, Rosie has to verify more specific things with the minutes than before, because she's held accountable.
Even if there's a draft on there.
She's held accountable. Same way with agendas. If agendas are too vague, she can be held accountable. So,
Okay,
Changes
yeah,
have to be
yeah,
made.
I understand that, yeah. So you're saying that it was partially because you got behind? Or is it?
No, it is
No.
because I received direction from the chair to hold those minutes for this committee to approve before they went out in any way, shape, or form. To Rosie,
I gotcha,
online,
I gotcha,
anything.
I gotcha. So we didn't approve the June 2nd minutes on the 9th?
That you approved June 2nd and June 9th,
Today.
10 minutes ago.
Yep, today. Not until today, yeah.
All right, so why didn't we approve the 2nd on the 9th?
Because they weren't done. They weren't completed.
And why?
Why? They weren't completed. We were meeting, there were 6 weeks where we met 5 Mondays.
Mhm.
The minutes take quite a bit of time, particularly when the meetings run 3-4 hours long. It does take time to go through those, verify them for accuracy. Tony typically reviews them, Tom reviews them. There's kind of a protocol to go through. That does take time to get them right, so that they can go through, hopefully without any errors
Well,
or needing to be amended.
And you know, I want them to be right. I'm just thinking a week is a good amount of time. I don't know what. I know that in my other committees, which social services, our
And
meetings
you have a
last.
good point, you have a good point.
We last 3 hours and
More.
whatever, and I just think that's too much to withhold for. I
For
mean,
too
because
long a time.
that's going to be, by the time July meeting comes up, those June 2nd and 9th meetings are going to be almost 2 months old. So we got, I assumed that his approval was okay. I didn't realize that you wanted whole committee approval. But if that's the case, maybe we should.
Well, what does the committee want?
if Gene
Maybe.
said hold off with the minutes, Christine held off.
Yep. And that was my mistake, because I thought his approval was okay. I didn't know you wanted full committee approval.
Well,
And
one
I
good
understand, you
instance
know,
of that, Bonnie, is just
Five
that Debbie,
eyes are better
Debbie
than.
just,
Yep,
Debbie just
yep,
found an
yep.
error that I missed,
Right.
and
Yep.
she found it, you know? And I gotta give her credit for finding that,
They do say draft.
yes. That means you can change them, but
Right.
they're not.
Right, because I think that's where we got sideways at one of the board meetings, was that it didn't say draft, and then
Yeah.
and then somebody thought that was, yeah.
The approved minutes,
Right.
yes. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess I'm looking for. I'm kind of a stickler on these minutes, because I like to have what's going on ahead of me when it's
Right.
And
going
you like
on.
to have them in the packet,
Current.
so before
Right.
the county board.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And
still
I-
current.
Well, it's still current, right?
And that's for every committee, because sometimes we've got something that we're
So-
supposed to vote on, and if you don't see minutes and
Do you
have
want me
no
to
idea.
approve them then?
To me,
Well, there should be 2 approvals on there, shouldn't there be a, what do you usually have on there? Secretary, so if Bill looks at them and you look at them and there's some sort of approval, they can still wait, they can still say draft, but at least you've had 2 eyes looking
Look
at
at
it.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the big deal is if they say draft.
Well,
I
that
don't know
being
why
said,
we're
they're
making
not.
such- I
official
understand what
minutes,
you mean by draft, but I don't understand why we just can't put it out right after you put draft on it, because you can change it. I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah.
And I'm
Just
agreeing.
put it out.
Okay.
I would
I-
think that that's true.
I personally have had no issues with the agendas or with the minutes or anything, so I could care less whether you put it out after you know, I don't need to see it. Put it out when it says draft. It's a draft. It doesn't, you know, it can be changed.
Well, what does the committee feel? Do you want me to approve the draft so it goes on? So it goes out? And then we'll take the approval of, of the minutes when we come to a meeting, because the committee has to approve them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like
Do
to
you-
see the minutes go out.
Yeah, do you feel that that's a lot to, I mean, because like in our next packet, we're gonna have probably 3, 4, 5 different admin meeting minutes. Don't you think that's a lot?
And they're old.
And they're old, yeah.
Okay, I
That's,
have no problem with it. If you
Maybe
want me
it's
to
the
approve them.
attachments that should be, because I think that's where things went, because all of a sudden all that wage information got posted.
Okay, yeah,
But the actual committee minutes, I mean,
that should never happened.
the actual
That's-
committee minutes should go out in the packet, I would think.
All right, if that's what you want, then that's what we'll do.
I would like to see it, and it can say draft, it can.
Is that
go.
consensus of the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem with
Yeah, I just don't wanna
Yeah.
have 3, 4, 5 at one packet.
I just want to have real old minutes finally hit
Yeah.
the board, because then it's,
Okay, that's fine.
Well, I don't think that these are old minutes. I mean, 1 month, we only have a meeting normally once a month. It can be 3 weeks, it can be 4 weeks.
but the
Yeah.
board won't see these minutes now until the end of July.
Well, if you hold them.
Right. Which,
Well, that I wasn't part, if it says draft or whatever,
That's
you
okay.
can change them. You
Right,
can
right.
explain a mistake on here, whatever. I don't.
I don't mind it saying
Or
draft,
Or we
but
can have, I can approve and then I can call Bill, and Bill gives his approval.
You get 'em out
Then,
there.
then when it'll come to the
out
committee.
there.
and it can still say draft after you guys approve it, I don't care.
I think it has to.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has to be
Yes,
until
yes,
until it's
right.
confirmed by
He
this
just
committee.
didn't think that it should be put out there till after the board voted on it. That was his
Yeah,
decision.
yeah.
And that was, that to me is not important.
So what's the consensus of the board? What's this committee want us to do?
You can-
Well, that's what we're gonna do, Tom.
I don't know what you're gonna do, I don't have it written down.
I think they
I've
should
got
probably-
consensus minutes, then I stop, because I didn't hear anything. What are we doing?
I would advocate that at least the committee minutes, and maybe the attachments get people in trouble, I don't know. But at least the committee minutes, I would advocate that they go out in a timely manner to be included with the board packet, as long as they're stamped draft until they're officially approved by the committee.
I don't want any attachments to go out, though, I don't think so.
That's fine.
The minutes can.
The minutes
But
can
the
go
minutes
up, and-
should.
Yeah,
but
that's
that's no
fine.
attachments anymore.
That's fine.
We're not gonna
Yeah,
go through
and,
this
and,
again.
we learn by doing,
Right. Okay,
That's
So
fine
that's
with me.
one person's input,
Okay,
but
Tom,
everybody
and-
else has got to weigh in too. What do you?
Bill and I'll approve the minutes,
I'm good with putting them out.
and then they'll come to the board to be, and they can go online after Bill and I approve them, and then we'll approve them as a committee, and then they're final.
Okay.
Is that
That's fine.
That's
fine with everybody?
Just
Okay.
get 'em out there.
Okay, the next thing we're gonna go is, I really wanna go into closed session because what we're gonna be talking about is gonna take some time. And I don't wanna be rushed in this and come up with a bad job. And I think you understand that. And so I would entertain a motion that we go into closed session.
That's all.
I'll second.
Okay? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Bill?
Aye.
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 Aye. Deb, did you say
Aye.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can deviate right to those ladies that come out of here. Did you do check your phone?
Yeah, that's a long time ago. It's worked better than it did.
That one of those smartphones?
Yeah.
Want to see mine? I got a dumb phone.
I have a phone. My phone doesn't even have a camera.
A lot of you are here for the refill positions. Right.
Except just one is that.
Somebody can sit right up here on that phone.
Just have a
Okay. Here's number.
Tom, can you come up here a minute?
If you guys wanna sign in, I got a couple names in there.
Move this.
in Article is 301.
Let me get the agenda.
Here, Tom, I got it right here.
Okay, so I got a,
Recess,
Oh.
first and June 2nd.
okay. Yeah, thanks. Let's do the DCP, they've been waiting
Yeah,
long.
but
The
but you
DCP.
had one that you wanted first and second.
Oh, yeah, just 11, 12, and then 14.
Okay.
Can we
I think
get
it's 10, 11, 12, because, no, yes.
11, 12, and 14?
Yeah, well, we're gonna cover 10 also,
Year
but,
23?
He's not back yet. 10, he's not here yet.
oh, okay.
That's,
Year 22.
let's see, we just called him to tell him to come back.
Okay.
22.
Position to refill request dual service clinical social worker, ECP.
Hello. That's my name. All right. This position provides outpatient therapy to people with mental health and substance abuse issues in our office and out in the community. Billed under a certified program. We bill insurance, medical assistance, Medicare, and then we have people who are private pay and also people who fall under the ability to pay. This position has been vacant since about January, February of 2013. And then in July of 2013, one of our full-time contracted therapists also resigned. And since that time, we've been trying to recruit through the contract agency without any success. So we've been down 2 full-time clinicians since then. So pretty critical at this point that we get it hired. There are some, grant funding, things that are kind of dependent on having someone full-time in this position, as well as maintaining our certification, which allows us to be able to bill for the service that we're providing.
Are you talking about the one that's vacated by Melzer and by Grimm?
The position that I was talking about is the one that was vacated by Michelle Grimm.
Right, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay, and my question is, this went through committee already?
Yes.
Finding a little bit of a discrepancy there with some other,
Okay.
they need to go through the proper channels and just needed to know that that was done.
It actually went through the June.
Okay.
DCP.
Yes.
And I was there.
And
Yep.
probably the one thing that we didn't do is that we didn't specify, because the understanding was that this had been a contracted position and they're having a devil of a time filling it through that mechanism, and it is something that they do have to have.
Right.
But then this should replace any contracted position, it's not both.
Should be, right?
Right, it was a county position, that person resigned, then our other person that was contracted resigned. So we're looking to fill the,
Put it back as a county position.
Position. But then-
Right,
Yeah.
there were
Should only have
2,
a
now we
contracted
have
person.
0.
Right, and the only concern is that we make sure that that's clear, is we don't,
Another one.
right.
Right.
Okay, the pay rate, how does that look on our,
Compared to the contracted position, I guess we don't know, do we?
We also don't know how the wage
Yeah.
adjustment is going to affect
There's-
us.
Yeah, this is based from the Bjork one study.
That is correct.
These people are billable, as we say in the business.
Yeah.
They will, I don't know if they'll pay for themselves exclusively, but there's a good chance they'll pay a good portion of it. Yeah.
and that's, I understand that's not county money, but the state money is still our money.
No, but it's income for the county.
It's also expense for the county.
To the tune of,
Well, both of these passed the committee.
yeah.
Yes.
What were we paying the contracted position? Because that I'm not sure that we were ever clear on.
The contracted therapist in this position.
Yes.
When he left, he was at 29, I can't remember the cents, but it was 29 something.
29,
That's what it was,
That's
something.
what it is here. So-
That, this is the, right, this would be the start rate for the county position. The contracted one was,
Something different.
it was 29 something. I don't remember where it was left when he
Kicker is
resigned.
because of his contracted, I don't know if it's on that damn list.
But this one was the county one that up until February of last year was full-time, person. And the contracted person didn't replace this person. We had 2 clinicians. They both left. So we're down to 1 full-time only mental health provider. She does not provide substance abuse counseling.
Well, speaking for the commission, since I was part of the commission, I says, they see no problem with this, with the pay.
I would agree with Gene.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking, because I have nothing compared to, I've never worked in DCP and I don't know what the practice is.
I would, as chair, I would make a motion and move that we approve.
And abolish the contracted?
Right.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions to the motion?
Exactly what the motion is, just
Motion
moving to
is-
approve or?
Motion is to approve and abolish the contract. And the price, and the pay rate is to $29.24. That works. Any question to the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Bill?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's 5-0. And you got the one that I signed. Number 12.
We need to revamp these forms too.
Since this was on committee, we had Rosetta sign? She did sign, okay.
Yeah, she signed the originals at the county board. meeting.
Okay, good.
We
I
need
just
to
want to make
review
sure we
these
cover all.
Pardon me?
forms.
When we get a chance, yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the forum now to talk about redoing these forms. Let's get these done with, then we'll talk about redoing these forms. You're on.
This one is the intervention services supervisor. This one oversees our crisis program, inpatient services, all of the court work that we do. This one, we've had a full-time person in it up through December 31st of 2008. Then we had a period of time without a supervisor in that position. And then in like spring-ish of 2011, we brought it back as a contracted position, kept it that way for about a year, and then because I was the person in that position at the time, I ended up moving into a management position, and this position was not refilled. However, since, I'd say in the last 5 years, the amount of crisis contacts that we've provided as an agency has more than tripled. The amount of court cases that we're overseeing has gone up. The complexity of cases has gone up. It's pretty critical that we have someone overseeing the program. We have kind of a graph of the amount that, the number of days of inpatient that are paid for by the county, the amount that is actually paid out. And in the years that we had a supervisor, it was really kind of whittling down, kept under a manageable number. And the 2.5 years or so that we didn't, it started to creep back up, came back down, and then now in the 2013 and the first part of 2014, those numbers are going back up again. So from our perspective, very critical that we have someone directly overseeing those programs. The position handles all of the frontline crisis calls that come in during the day, also handles all of the court, the inpatient, like I said. We average about 150 emergency detentions a year, so all of those cases that go into the hospital, this person does the case management for it, and then people who end up under a mental health commitment, guardianship, a settlement agreement, this person oversees all of those cases, keeps contact. We have kind of strict rules around how we oversee those cases. We're required to write crisis plans on those people, so this position oversees all of that and then supervises the after-hours crisis team as well.
Just one of the things that I know we talked about this at our ECP meeting as well, Jean. We're experiencing a high volume of children, particularly in Winnebago. We've had...
Explain that, particularly in Winnebago.
Winnebago Mental Health Center is where we've had to send children for services.
Okay, so our caseload that is in Winnebago.
Right,
okay,
right.
Gotcha.
And what happens is basically medical assistance pays for some of it we end up paying for out of our budget. But in previous years, we had other places, and Jess, you can maybe a little bit more about this. We had a lot of alternate places where it didn't cost us as much as what Winnebago is costing us. There you're running a little over $1,000 a day. Again, hopefully they can be billed to MA, and MA will pick up, if they pick everything up the way they're supposed to, and if we can bill, we'd end up with about 30% of that. But we had like January through April, we had about 150,000 in charges just out of Winnebago. And we really need to track that and keep those numbers down. And that's part, as I understand it, what this position will do.
Absolutely.
Are those court ordered when they go to Winnebago?
What happens is they are assessed by crisis worker and law enforcement and then put under Chapter 5115 emergency detention. So they're detained to the facility. They may or may not end up under a mental health commitment or a court order, but during that initial 72 hours, they are legally bound there.
But that's really this year, we saw it maybe the last month or 2 months of last year, and then going into this year. Children has just simply...
And it's across the state. The Winnebago Mental Health Institute is a state-run institute. They actually, they have staff for 31 youth, and they were at 62 youth. So it's a statewide issue right now. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's not just Shawano County that's experiencing this.
And I think we're seeing that also at DSS. With the amount of kids under CHIPS petitions and such, and the out-of-home placement costs, which has been a concern for Rick and for June for these last 3, 4, 5 years.
We work a ton with the youth department over there, co-managing
Another reason they
cases.
can do the services.
Did anybody do one of the JDQs for this position?
I did.
Did it get submitted to Carlson already or not?
I submitted it. As far as I know, it was submitted.
Must be, yeah.
Because I'm trying to find, that's, if you're going to follow our handbook,
Right here? Oh, that's social. No, that's community programs. Yeah.
And we did budget for this position to be filled in 2014.
And that was, those reasons, was that the committee told?
The committee voted on that also.
Somebody voted on this and approved this also,
Yes.
right? Because I was there.
yeah. except
And
we
Rosetta
have
signed that form also.
much information.
No, I guess I'm just concerned, you know, when we have this thing still in limbo, we don't wanna
You don't wanna screw that up, right?
extend ourselves so that we can't pull back if we need to, or not, or have to just bounce it up too high because we started too low, or whatever the case may be. But that one was okay.
And it does exist on here.
This position requires a master's degree. I assume.
I think so. I'm almost positive that it does.
It's listed down there.
Yep, this is the one
Anybody bring a calculator and figure out what the rate per hour here was?
No, I didn't. I don't think so. Let me check.
I just wanna make sure we don't,
here. Oh, on that sheet.
Yeah.
On this one, did you look at?
Yeah, it's calculated at,
Was it in here?
yeah, but what we've got isn't, it's an annual rate.
$25.46, it's calculated here.
Based on 40 hours or, no, I mean this 44,
It's 2272.6, according to the part form.
Yeah, right, but
Okay, now I'm gonna make a motion to approve it.
I will second that. Well, any question to the motion? The motion is to approve this. Any question to the motion? Hearing none, Bill?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Deb?
yes.
Yes. Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
Number 14.
Okay. Discussion and possible action regarding recommendation to authorize increasing the part-time DCP account clerk position from 1170 to 1200 hours per year due to the workload.
What happened to number 13? We're skipping that?
We're skipping that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's for child support. I don't see child support there, so.
And if I can recollect right, we also approved this at
Yes, you
meeting.
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we found out that there was
Yes.
work and they could bill for it, but for some reason they were stuck thinking it could only be authorized up to 1170. And the significant thing here everybody needs to know about is that 1200 hours is where part-time, is where benefits kick in. And this person had previously been getting benefits. This was the only one that was receiving the health insurance on a prorated basis.
Right.
That was under 1200 hours. And from 11/7 to 1200, it's like, well, can't you find, what, an hour a week?
It wasn't even a case of finding, I mean, the work is
The
definitely
work is there, it's just that for whatever
Right.
reason, they were stuck at 1170.
I think you agreed to that in committee also. So I don't see a problem here.
Yeah, and we agreed to that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so the fiscal impact isn't huge?
no,
No.
to the county, no.
Right.
Yeah, what it'll do is the increase would be built, and the increase is relatively small, but it would be built into our waiver rate, which would then be a part of the waiver. And would be reimbursed through that, so it shouldn't make a change in the county.
Right, and this person already had prorated health insurance, so that
This
shouldn't,
way.
It should continue.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
And I'll, okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions to the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Bill?
Aye. Yeah.
Jerry?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Deb?
yes.
Yes. 5-0, okay.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
This is 22.
Or, yeah, for 22.
Chairman, you want to go down to 22?
22, discussion possible action. Oh, Oh, yeah, that, here we
This
go.
already.
Huh? We did this once before with you.
I think everybody got a copy of the letter from the employees. This might help explain it more. It's a copy of a schedule for the week. It just so happens it's this week, which has a holiday in, which makes it easier for everybody to follow through.
Yeah, this goes back to Carlson and Devin, wage study.
I think.
This doesn't have anything to do, I don't think, with the study at all. It has to do, excuse me.
The last time we talked about it, I thought it did.
Oh, yeah, the first anniversary. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, this is, I remember this one. I remember you going through this last time.
Okay, this has to do with FLSA and paying holiday pay and the 6-day schedule day. What I meant with you before was about earning PTO.
Right.
That was an issue. This is separate. This has more to do with the fact that if you look at the schedule that I handed you,
Yep,
this
okay.
lists everybody who's working from the week starting Monday the 30th through Sunday the 6th, which is a work week.
Okay,
The 4th is a holiday.
yes.
The people that have asterisks next to their name, they're working 6 days that week. Right now, what's happening is if they get paid holiday for working the 4th, they're not paying them for the 6th scheduled day. But that's their regular schedule. What you see in front of you is everybody's regular schedule.
Do you get a copy of that?
We discussed this with Browski though, didn't we, when that was a whole thing on the handbook about he asked for clarification from them again.
If they get paid for the 4th,
Right.
they're not getting paid for what?
Not getting paid for the 6th scheduled overtime day, which is what FLSA gives them. Anything over 40 hours in a week, that 6th day is the 6th day in a week that they're working. So instead of getting the time and a half for that day, because they worked the holiday and got time and a half, they're bumping them out of the 6th day. But they're still working 6 days. That's their schedule.
I'm afraid it would take too long for you to explain this to me because I'm not familiar with this kind of.
Let me try to clarify a little
I'm
bit.
with you.
What's happening?
I have no idea how this works.
Okay, let me just clarify. We're looking at putting them in overtime after there's 40 hours of straight time.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so because they get time and a half on the holiday, the other 5 days are all
Straight time. That's correct.
right. And I think under FLSA, it allows you guys to make the decision whether you want that holiday to be considered
Straight
A
time.
regular scheduled day.
a regular
Which it is.
40 hours, part of the 40 hours, okay? Or whether it's just the time that's straight time. But I don't think you're obligated, but it's your decision to make, whether you want that to be considered part of the 40 hours and then overtime kicks in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what, there was a whole slug of emails on this. That's the thing that you guys went around with the labor attorney. Is he still in the building?
I was supposed to see him after this meeting, I hope he is.
Yeah, he's
He might be downstairs.
downstairs.
Well, we've got other things that we're gonna have to shovel his way. Should we shovel this one again too?
1, 2, 3. So,
I don't see a problem here at all. Maybe.
You will.
so we
What
could
would you
give,
ask?
so our option is to give them time and a half on the 4th
Yep,
and time and a half for the 6th day,
yes,
Or straight time for
straight time
for 5 days.
for the 5 days and time and a half. on-
Time enough when they get on the holiday because that's written into the policies.
right.
Okay.
Any other week, if there's a holiday, if there's no holiday during the week, they get straight time for 5 days and the 6th day would automatically be time and a half.
But because that holiday is falling in there, they're working a holiday and you're taking away the time and a half on their 6th day.
So in other words, you're asking for time and a half on the holiday and the 6th day.
And I
Because
won't-
this
I don't
6
go
day
for
is for
that.
the FLSA.
Yeah.
The holiday pay is because they're working instead of
Yeah.
enjoying
So-
the holiday.
So our cost would be an extra 4 hours. Well, are these 8-hour days?
They're 8 hours. These are, 4th of July is an 8-hour day.
Okay, so you're asking for an extra 4 hours for those kind of things.
Yes.
The cost would be equivalent to 4 hours, yes.
He's on his way out.
You good?
I'm for the,
He's on his way out.
And you told
I'm for the fact is that overtime on the holiday, and then the other is straight time.
Yeah, and I think that's what we decided before, and that he's on his way out.
Okay, you thought I would
We
Okay,
have our
and how
labor
many-
attorney
this-
coming
this
up right now,
happens
just so that you know why we're waiting on it.
Pardon?
We have our labor attorney coming here right now,
Okay.
just so that's why we're sort of waiting on this.
Okay.
But my idea, and strictly just my idea, is that I can see time and a half for on the holiday, and then straight time for the 6th day, yes. That would be my assumption.
Do you have a rough guesstimate how many times a year this happens?
This instance right here is going to happen this year, every holiday, except for Labor Day.
So, how many holidays do you have? 10?
5 of them is what it would be, 5.5.
And that usually happens to about 4 different people.
It's generally 5 people. In this instance, the 2 that are earning PTO, you'll see marked on the slip, 2 of those would have been a 6-day too.
Okay, they took some people.
Yes.
Dan, is Dan Borowski our attorney, our labor attorney from Milwaukee?
I did some question in regard to the dispatchers and
Again.
holiday pay and overtime. And maybe let Maria talk there.
Actually, we have here's just a copy of our schedule.
Yeah, did you guys already?
I
thought
never
you
got over
guys-
this. We're getting the 6 day on the holiday in the same work week.
When we sent you.
This is what they sent us, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, I think it was. That's what we're gonna present this. Give them your offer.
And we have two options here.
I'm just trying to understand the issue. I'm just reading this.
We changed the multiplier over this issue though, which I'm not sure we were supposed to, and that's why we had that extra weird different multiplier in there.
No, the multiplier was because you took the 6 day as a scheduled overtime. You said they didn't earn PTO on that. These are 2 different issues. And we changed the multiplier because they lost time when everybody else was getting it on 1,950 hours. They were losing because you pull that 6 day out, which is part of their regular schedule, which is what the multipliers were calculated on. And in this case, the same thing is happening. These are their regular scheduled days. They just happen to fall where certain people are going to have to work a holiday, but it's also their 6th day falls in that same week.
Okay, so the issue that came up before was the amount of hours that you
Earn PTO
earn
on.
PTO is on. This
Right.
is the amount of hours you
Earn.
Earn, yeah.
This
Gotcha.
is just saying that they're not getting paid extra for working the holiday. This is
Right.
taking away the extra benefit
Yeah.
for working
Yes.
the holiday. It's a
Yes.
simple answer. And
This way, Dan, that they would get paid time and a half for, the way I see it, they get paid time and a half for the 4th of July. And then on the 5th of July, that would be straight time.
Yeah, I mean, if they work over 40, they get time and a half for every hour over 40.
Right.
We agree on that. They
Yes.
should be shorter on that.
But they're saying that because the holiday falls in the middle of the week, that doesn't count towards the 40.
They're getting time and a half.
Right, but the only thing that counts toward the 40 is the hours worked,
Right.
not whether you get paid.
Yeah,
Holiday.
not the amount of
The
pay.
holiday-
I agree.
Right.
It's just, whatever you work, and that's what counts toward the 40, it's only hours worked. So but if they work a holiday in the middle of the week,
It still counts towards the 40, is what we're saying.
why wouldn't it? It's not hours worked. If
Because they're working it.
If they're working it, then it counts.
That's what we're arguing,
They're
they are
losing
working it.
They're losing
If
the
I have
holiday
48
benefit.
hours in a week, by
Right.
definition, I have 8 hours of time and a half.
Right.
Whether, regardless of one of those 40 was on a
A
holiday or not.
holiday.
You may get
That's our-
holiday pay at time and a half under the, I don't remember what the handbook said, what we did.
For the
on-
holiday.
Right.
But they
they
should
still-
also get the time
If
and
I
a
work
half.
8 hours on a holiday and the handbook says I get paid time and a half, that's a holiday pay. I don't remember what it says, I don't remember it.
They want time and a half on both days, I think is
But
what
it's
they're-
still only 8 hours worked, it's not 12, it's just 8
Right.
hours. And so if I get to my 40 and then I work the 6th day, it's 40.
You should get
time and
a
half.
schedule. Okay, that's what
One's
we
a
want.
holiday, one's just say if I work a holiday, I get if I'm
Right.
understanding what just came in here and I don't want to mess something up, but
Did you get one of these?
all holiday benefit is just
Right.
if you work a holiday and you're not with your family, they're going to give you more money than you would have gotten, regardless if you're
Right.
over 40, under 40.
Right.
People get a different rate of pay if they're going to be working
And
a holiday
that's
with
what
the
we're
rest of the
asking
county.
for right there.
But it's still time worked and still counts.
Yeah, I
It
was
counts
gonna
towards
say,
the,
What
Are you
made-
asking for more than?
No, what made you think that you weren't gonna get?
because they weren't getting it.
No, they weren't. We were looking at how many, we were
Yeah.
looking at 40 hours of straight time before overtime kicked in.
None
But
of
you're
us
getting,
holiday pay
you're getting
because
time and a
it
half
tells
for
us
the
otherwise.
4th.
I don't get holiday. I don't remember what the handbook says. Whatever holiday pay is.
Holiday pay
Right
is
here.
time and a half, it's time and a half.
Right, and that's not overtime pay. That's just time and a half. It's just money.
That's
Right.
just an
So
extra.
you get that
extra
plus
money.
your overtime.
You're gonna miss, again, I don't want to. The holiday, the handbook doesn't say time and a half. I don't want to say that. But here's holiday pay.
It does.
Corrections or a dispatch employee works on a full legal holiday, the employee will be paid time and a half, the hours actually worked on the full legal holiday. If it's a half legal holiday, they get a Good Friday, I'm assuming, or it might be, they get half.
Or Christmas Eve, because that was the whole discussion on.
Right. They get half days for those two. Yes.
So what are they, forgive me, what are they getting?
They aren't getting the
They're getting
extra holiday
the,
pay.
and getting the overtime on the 6th day.
They aren't getting overtime until they've got 40 hours of straight time.
I'm saying they should get paid.
No. It's just hours worked.
That's
It's just
right.
hours worked. It doesn't matter if it's straight time, it's just hours worked. If I work
Right.
48 hours, it doesn't matter if I got a premium over, or it's not even overtime, it's just being paid more for the hour I worked because it's on a holiday. So it's not straight, it's just not, and I don't think I think overtime speaks only in terms of hours worked, not what you were paid for those hours worked, if I'm correct. I don't think we would originate on that.
Well, they're getting paid for their 40, and then the 4th of July, whether it's in the middle of the week or wherever it is getting time and a half, although it is a holiday.
Right.
So do they get their time and a half plus their holiday pay?
Not for the
Not the way we've written it.
fourth.
Our holiday pay is the time and a half.
Right. But then the
We have a
6th
special,
day,
we have a
then the 6th
special
day.
policy for corrections dispatch because it's a 24/7
Because it's
operation.
24/7 and it was different. We ended
Law
up
enforcement
having-
gets different than unfortunately, it's just.
But otherwise, we're giving them
You guys
overtime
never
twice.
really have holidays, you work on, or just a scheduled work day, you're open no matter whether it's a holiday or not, the jail's open. So then we dealt with it by giving them time and a half, is how I recall it, it's just what it says. I don't know how we split those up or why we did time. I think it's just hours work.
I do see it.
Time has to share, we had already. Second.
Was there,
See, unfortunately, we didn't get this till now.
Unless otherwise provided in this manual, non-exempt employees will be paid their your straight hourly rate for overtime hours worked up to and including 40 hours a week. Some people can be overtime, but not over 40.
Right.
Premium overtime pay at 1.5 times. Premium overtime pay is based on hours actually worked. PTO or any other paid and unpaid leave of absences are not considered hours worked for purposes of determining premium overtime pay. So they get time and a half when they go over 40, regardless of whether they got a holiday benefit system.
True.
In there. So they should be getting paid is what you.
They get
what
straight
you're saying.
time
But they
unless
have-
Up
otherwise.
until there.
You
They
get
had
straight
to
time
work.
unless otherwise
They have to
provided.
work, oh yeah, they're working.
The holiday
Yeah.
pay is not an overtime
Right.
pay. It's just a
Holiday.
It's a
Right.
They had to
The- the
work
peak,
with,
right.
if they didn't work, that they didn't.
Right,
Yeah.
anytime anybody takes a PTO in their, what we call the 6-day work week, they lose that 6th day and they know that. But our question and why this came up is because, and Good Friday is what brought it up, is because people worked that and it bumped them out of getting their 6th day, half of it. And that's why I came in with this, and that's why I brought this, because now on the 4th of July, we're looking at exactly the same thing.
And I appreciate you doing this, but the
Yeah.
only thing is that the way I see it, anything over 40 is time and a half.
Right.
So
And that's where we're at.
you're working 48 hours here. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday or not,
It's just hours
you're getting
worked.
overtime on the.
And I agree with what you're saying, it's, finance has to pay them that way then, is basically what it amounts to.
We needed it clarified.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know how you can read. It's what it says. Because if I
Well,
work the holiday, I only work 40 hours a week. I still get time and a half for my holiday hours, but it's just not overtime. It's
right,
they're just paying us
Holiday pay.
for not being around.
right.
But you
And
had
it's
to
specific
actually
to
work.
law
I
enforcement.
thought-
Doesn't everyone else just get the
Yeah,
day
well,
off?
see, all these people
Me.
are working,
I
and they
know.
are
Straight
working the
rate,
6th day. And
6 day would be okay.
I was, we did cover this already, didn't we?
not with me, and I
That
believe
was
John
me
and
either.
me met with Tom and Diane when we came up to Good Friday, and it bumped 5 of my people out of half of it, because Good Friday is a half a day, it bumped half of their 6th day out of time and a half. And I argued exactly what you all are saying, and they said, looking at how they interpreted that, it's saying, well, you're bumped out on your 6th day then.
Because if
But-
4th of July fell on your 6th day,
There is a
you're going to get overtime that day, and if it's a holiday, you're not getting double time.
There
No.
is FLSA provision that does say if you get paid overtime before you're 40, you can get a credit against the other, but I don't think that's what's happening here.
But it's not overtime.
That's not overtime.
That's probably.
Holiday pay.
And whether we need a clarification on that, I mean, because if in the old days of collective bargaining, if you worked over 8, you would get time and a half. You go over 40, if you've already been paid the time and a half, the FLSA, you get a credit. I don't believe that provision applies to holiday, like an enhanced holiday pay. I can check on that. I should be careful.
Yeah, because I think we got some stuff on the FLSA, and that's why we were doing it, and that's why it needed to be
I
clarified.
can check on that.
So
If it needs to be clarified, then the committee would have to clarify that you're
What-
not going to
it needs to
offset
be
it.
clarified here by this group, because they're the ones, I mean, you guys are the ones that whenever there's an issue with the personnel policy handbook, we're going to.
It's so plain to me that I don't know.
Right, I think the question, I think the issue is if this holiday, does the offset apply? Do we have to do something in the policy is the question. I think the intent here was to get people working holidays time and a half. And not have it count against their 6th day. I don't think that,
I
there's a
agree, and
different
I
intent with
appreciate if you
draft.
guys are going that way. Just tell finance to pay my people that
Yeah,
way,
I
and
mean-
we're all happy.
But I don't think that, again, that's why I gotta be careful. There is a provision if you get paid overtime, time and a half voluntarily, but that's not what we're doing. And I don't think there's a holiday offset, but I could be wrong. I guess I should be careful. That
So
would require a correction, because I think.
Patrick is the pro on this, right? Isn't he Patrick the pro on this stuff?
I can look it up too, just by what I was saying.
Yeah, but we got you on another assignment, so since the 4th of July is coming up like promptly, but that paycheck won't be issued for, depending on where we are in the cycle,
We process next week.
for the
I can call
board?
now and get an answer.
Is there a chance that
I don't think it's gonna be hard to
we
get
get
an
a
answer.
definitive answer?
Say we
So
get
that-
paid.
Because I think they'd like to know.
We just had payroll.
That's what you get the big bucks for.
Dan, if you put in your, Dan, if you put in your 40 hours and then asked to work
Anything over 40 hours.
the 6th day, and it was a holiday, you aren't gonna pay him twice that amount.
Time and a half.
You're not gonna pay him overtime and then overtime again because it's a
The
holiday.
question is if there's an offset in the Fair Labor Standards Act that people that missed here, that's causing a problem with the 6th day.
Because everything.
Maybe we need to redo the schedule.
But the policy says, the policy's intent is to make sure, is to give you, is to not offset that time and a half. This is aggregate. Which is all you're saying. And if that requires clarification, then we just found something that requires clarification.
How do we do this? It seems
Right. I'm just want to make sure what Diane's saying is, what does the FLSA say on offset if you've already paid time and a half? But that's a provision, I'm thinking it's an overtime provision, not a just paying you more per hour because you worked on a holiday provision. We're not paying you time and a half, we're actually just paying you enhanced
Holiday.
hourly rate.
It's holiday pay, though, not
It's not really time and a
overtime.
half. It's calculated based on your wage plus 1/2. But if it was double time, you wouldn't owe the county money back.
So they get 5 days of regular time and
If
1
that's
day
the
of
intent, if
overtime.
it's clean up the handbook, that's a clean up. If there's an issue with that, I would just clean it up.
Well, since we have two different interpretations, one that seems different than finance, then what's happening? I don't know. I would advocate, I don't know how the rest of the committee feels, but if we can get a quick or prompt definitive clarification.
I can call Patrick right now, and you can table it during the pendency of the meeting and make your, whatever clarification you have to make.
You'd
during
like
the
it
meeting.
cleaned up, right?
I'm thinking, because the 4th is coming up.
How many other agenda items do you have left here?
Lots.
226.
Midnight.
I can try to get a, what you do is get a quick answer,
Well,
just
that's something I wanted to
table it, move on to your next
clarify.
agenda
Yeah,
item.
Something else while you call back.
And you just, but you need a motion from the committee.
What'd you say, Tom?
I don't know if I'm gonna get an answer from him quick.
Can I
we
make,
table this until he gets a hold of
yeah,
Patrick?
can I postpone this till later on the, and
Right,
take
that's
it up
all
and
you do,
revisit
table
it
it.
Then
later?
we'll move on with
Time
some other
certain
like.
Okay. Let's move on.
We'll let them slide up.
It's FLSA. That's the confusion. They're confusing.
Position to refill the
I think it's the FSL.
The jail cook.
Yeah, but
FLSA.
Okay,
really
Brian.
understand is that.
Steve, that's you, huh?
Because we really need a,
What number are we on, Gene?
That's number 10.
okay,
We're
that's
gonna,
gonna,
who's next?
I guess
Kathy jumped up, by the way. Okay, we're on number 23.
Well,
no,
we're on number 10 right now.
We're on number
Because
10.
Steve is here.
Oh, okay. Come on up, Steve, you're first.
I want to refill a cook's position.
Only if you bring us cookies.
Minutes cookies?
No cookies.
Sorry, budget doesn't allow for it.
I see this is already past your committee, your home
Yes,
committee.
sir. And the administrative coordinator and the sheriff.
Okay. And the pay rate would be 1187.
I believe that's what they said.
no, I gotta go get that thing up again, don't
I can't see a problem with this.
Did we have a park?
we? Yeah,
Yes.
except none of them are numbered
Yeah,
this
right there.
time. I tried to number half.
We got it.
It's already signed by the
Here,
home
okay, I
committee.
got it, all right.
Is that
That's one. I would see that.
is Bert the chairman of that committee?
Bert Huntington signed off on it.
Yeah.
You gotta have a cook.
Yes, and I move we approve.
Okay, that's great.
Here, that would take care of a lot of
Second.
expenses. We didn't pay them.
I'm looking for a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Question to the motion?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it on here, just to make sure we don't screw up that one.
Yeah.
Jail cook, last page.
Steve's 11
Or
seconds.
last page.
Did they get it at the rate?
first step.
This is minimum, this is.
Right now, it doesn't exist, nobody voted on it. Well, we didn't vote on it, but they didn't figure.
So we have a motion and a second.
Which isn't, that's 1178 versus 1187.
And we have a question to the
What do you
motion.
see?
1178, and this is 1187.
Jail cook.
Yeah.
Right now, you're right.
What have you got on yours, Bill?
13.
The only thing I'm saying is that really,
No, and it says step one is 1178, and this says 1187.
That's right. And this would be step one because it's brand new, so, I mean, it's a new position. We have a motion and a second. I move to approve.
At which amount?
Bill?
Yes.
At which amount?
At 1187.
87 or the Carlson one?
No, we don't have Carlson approved yet. This is at 1187, I think that's when we.
But even.
Bill, did you say yes?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Jerry, you said yes. Bonnie?
Yes.
Deb?
Yes.
Yes. We got it. Okay. Now we'll go to,
Kathy, are you here for one?
Yes, thank you.
23?
Sheriff Department Administration Reorganization and Restructure.
Correct. I sent a memo.
Yep.
In your packet. I've also revised it, but, first of all, we had gone to our committee to PSC in June, with the request to refill. And they approved it. After that point, when we had one of my personnel training, she came to me and indicated she felt that if we spread out some of the duties, that she could probably take a good portion of the position that we were going to refill, and I'd give more to another person and ask for a request of a part-time position, 1,150 hours. So that's where we stand right now. I've come to you for guidance. I know the committee, the PSC has not seen this proposal, but seeing this person's leaving August 8th, we really wanted to get moving on this now that we're heading in a whole different direction. We will certainly go back to our committee. We didn't know if you would be agreeable to what I have in the memo, if that's something we can proceed with.
You say there's going to be a savings to the county of 33,000?
Yes, and that's a current savings I have. I redid it now with benefits, or with fringes, because I hadn't figured fringes in the chart. And I also received my 2015 budget salary and fringe worksheet. This is a new one.
Oh, this is a new one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Salary and fringe worksheet,
I'll get
and
one, huh?
yes, you can. I did make you an extra. I made Christine one.
So we give it to the other one.
Public safety hasn't seen this yet?
No, they haven't, because we went in a whole different direction. And we really wanted to get moving on it so that we can hopefully have people in place when the current account clerk leaves in August.
And I appreciate, I know what you're after, but the thing of it is, the procedure that we like to follow is that it goes to the home committee first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
In this case, though, maybe we can help fast track, because the next thing is going to be is then to have Detman plunk these in, because we were supposed to be trying to consolidate titles and not make more.
And that's what we're doing also. And we were really hoping that if you could give us a little bit of guidance today, that we can go back to our committee with something that they can actually work off of, because otherwise they're not going to know how to proceed.
Oh, okay.
They
I see
won't.
what you're doing at, you know.
Would there be because we're changing titles, would there have been a
a comparable JDQ anywhere within
Yes.
the department now? Okay.
Not in our department.
What we followed for the lead accounting tech was Highway 1.
Okay.
But this one even has additional, more fiscal responsibility. She'll be taking on the actual accounting portion in our department. And, and that was a lead accounting tech. And then with that, the current, I think she's already the office assistant. I think that's already listed in the study. But she will also be taking on more court, finishing court papers and billing. So she'll be taking a little bit of fiscal responsibility. And then the part-time would be the computer entry specialist, which is already there, and that one would be scanning documents. And that would be the 1,150 hours to keep it under the 1,200. So the current, and based on the 2015 salary and fringes, if we would put a full-time position in there, we're saving about $29,000.
Okay, you have a note, current savings to the county would be
32,488. Based on the person that's leaving, right now the savings would be 32,488. That was the initial.
If she left and there was no replacement, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, now, now if you go to full-time with single plus one,
We would do 49,701 for 2015. I didn't have any 2015 figures, so I used the figure of the person who is currently in the business, who's retiring. I used that money. But now I received the 2015 budget worksheet, and if we would hire a full-time person, it would be 49,701 with a single plus one insurance. And we'll be saving 29,262 by doing this restructuring.
Okay, so right now it's a long-time account clerk? Yeah, 18 years.
Yes.
Okey dokey.
And the person who's stepping in, or who would take on the duties, we're eliminating the position, the account clerk position that the person is retiring from. The person will be taking on more of those, or taking those, most of the fiscal duties there, has been with the department for 15 years. She's been trained in that area also, so that's why the G3.
Since we're in open session, I'm going to go picking names off of the thing that Carlson sent. But we found a lot of cases where they were now is completely different, where I guess I'd like to see this proposal go that direction since we're paying them to do it. But I'd also like public safety's input. It's going to have to come back here anyway.
I know it's going to have to come back, but I don't think they're going to. You guys have pretty much studied this, the pay plan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To a certain point, yeah.
Yeah, to a point, because I'm not sure which 3 positions we're looking at on the actual thing from Detmer. If I had this in Excel, I could just sort, and then I would be able to find it a lot quicker.
So what are you looking at? Or what are you looking for?
Well, we have, one of the problems is that we have account clerks, account clerk 1, account clerk 2, and they run the gamut. They're all over the place.
So I don't, was my memo clear though? What I'm looking at changing or giving the data entry, was currently the data entry specialist more fiscal responsibility.
Yeah, but it's comparing it to the current position, which may or may not be. I'm trying to find where the current position is now and where he would have proposed the step for refilling it.
The data entry specialist is currently at an E3. So if you look at the E3s on the wage study,
You did.
Yeah, except I'm trying to find where they are and as far as
Yeah,
where
and
the recommendation.
the proposed is way in. This is an E3.
So that person would already be considerably higher. So is that one of the red line ones? That's what I'm trying to find.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to find.
Trying to figure
Because
out
E3
where
is
arguing
higher
that
than where the
position.
current wage is.
See, they're arguing some positions that are on the wage study, and she's worried that they didn't put
If
it.
it's already one of the ones that he flagged as being redlined, I don't want to go and change something to even make it beyond
No,
that.
because it's, the red line is, they gotta stop right there.
And if it's an E3
on
that is
this
already
one.
beyond, it would be one of those.
Yeah, and this one is an F1.
It would be a job evaluation grade of G.
Carlson still is not approved yet.
I know, but he told us not to quit doing. We already paid
we're
him
just
for
gonna be
it.
basing that on the one that you guys approved for the highway. That's a lead accountant position, and we looked at that job description, and this one even has more in-depth fiscal duties.
But what he was asking for didn't, the committee didn't give him either. They,
Because she's worried about having to change it.
again, right.
And if this is, if the position you're saying has more, then they're gonna wanna change it.
Uh-huh.
So we gotta decide whether we're just gonna go ahead with this.
I don't think we have enough information. I would really like to be able to bounce this to, I mean, we've already paid him, what, 50 grand?
52.
That's what we're paying him for at least a recommendation.
This is an E3, and that's,
Beyond,
so it's already beyond where they think it should be.
right.
They are proposing.
Not at all fighting doing it. They're just-
Well,
Whether now is a good time. It's a tough time now.
yeah, when we have the opportunity, you don't want to.
It was E3.
You're in no big hurry on this.
Yes,
Yes.
we are, we are. That's why.
By what time, what's your time frame?
Next month.
Next month,
August 8th is good, yeah.
But the
This
world
one is
will come
about-
to an end.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, we should have contact with Carlson by that time anyway.
I think if it gets sent to him promptly, except you'd have to pick out exactly which ones.
Did you read the job description? Yeah. And there were new job descriptions attached also. Proposed job descriptions.
Hey, Dad.
See if this is the one that now is in his current title, because he's got some recommended title changes, because we have account clerks and office assistants that just are all over the place, and I think it's because of the union stuff.
Yeah,
What we're
it's
trying
always
to
a
do
mess.
is, it's a mess.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, I just don't want to make that worse.
No, and if we follow the job description, that's the recommendation of a title from the study. And the same thing with all three of these have the new titles. Because right now the one that we have is clerk, is a clerk title, so we're all aware that's awful title.
A lot of those don't fit for what they're
At
doing.
all. And that's where that one would be office assistant, so we're very comfortable with the titles according to the study. And with the steps, they're taking
This
on.
one doesn't have any education requirements.
That one actually is 2 years.
I don't have. Oh, my back page is empty. Can I just see
Everybody's? The office manager needs to know how to Xerox.
Did you see where we
1 to 2.
We just bounce it past that. Is that when you can't get cranking on that?
This is passed.
Thank you.
I know, but we should at least ask for a recommendation. That's all that all of this is right now.
Yeah.
Is that mine?
I don't know, we're paying a professional to do all this evaluation and give us recommendations. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if it went there.
I don't know why that town can't call Barbara up and
Just bounce it down.
bounce it down on her, because then we can come back and give you some idea.
Then
where
we've
you-
got some kind of
where you're
basis,
at.
and I have a feeling if it's to combine something, it's gonna be, yep, okay. And at least then you're justified and we're,
I think that's the
You know?
best to do, because otherwise it'll be all screwed up, and we don't want to do that to you.
and even if it isn't all
And we
screwed
can
up,
have-
somebody will think it is, just because we did.
Yeah.
We can have Tom call down to Carlson, and then Barb take a look at this,
And then when we approve it,
and then we can, we're gonna approve it on the 15th.
we do have another meeting.
We got another meeting.
15th.
We got another meeting in a week and a half.
Is that good?
If they,
That'll
if
still
they,
be before.
like the 3 people that are there now,
Yes.
he probably needs their existing JDQs,
Which they
you know,
have.
if you just make it as easy for him to pick out which ones he's looking at, you know what I
But
mean?
there's been such a change though in their description, yeah.
Well, take the existing and propose changes, I mean, that's,
Yeah, and
make it as easy as you can for him.
Well, they have a formula, Carlson has a formula that he uses to work out the job
Yeah,
description.
you're not supposed to.
Well, no, everybody does that, but I mean, they have something that they figure out, we don't know what it is, but the fact of it is that if we call, they can tell us where we should start.
Yeah, if you give them, and make it as easy as possible with the current
Current and
incumbent,
proposed, and then
yeah,
let them compare.
and let him run it through his little formula, at least then we'll know.
Do they have a
how
job
it's-
description for that right now?
There are, yes, there, well, no, they don't, because the duties have changed so drastically. We're not going to have an account clerk one anymore.
Right.
That person's retiring, we're not going to refill that.
Well,
More
before
duties are gonna be transferred from that job, plus the part-time person.
Carlson would make any study on this, he'd have to have a job description of what that person's gonna do, what the functions are. And that would determine where the pay rate would start. And I think we should go that route, so that you're not on the wrong trail here and go one way, and then once you find out that that's the wrong way, and you have to back up. And then we can do this probably with a phone call. Tom can do that
No,
with
I
a
don't
phone
think so. I
call.
think somebody's gonna have to email them this stuff.
Well, you're
But
gonna
they've
have to
got
email
it
them.
all.
Huh?
They've got it all.
Yeah.
Well, they've got the old one, now they'll have the comparison.
Yeah, they'll just make it as easy as they can for him. Make sure he knows which old ones and the new one he's
Yeah.
looking at.
Give them the new job description.
Yes.
Your numbers may fall right in where.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I don't know, I thought they were really fair and didn't think they were out of line, seeing we're giving up, what we're giving up.
And they could be fair. We're not questioning that. We just want to
It's
do the right
it's
thing.
crazy. It's like he plunks into it's a formula type thing.
Okay.
It's not about what we're giving up, it's about the position.
It's about the position, right?
So I think that's the best thing. And my advice
But not
is
more than fair.
And when does public safety or whatever, maybe that would be done then before we came back to us.
July 9th, is 9th?
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So then you would have it through them by the time
Well, I
we got
hope
it
so,
back.
I hope that.
Or could at least get them on board and let them. Somebody's got to let them know
Oh,
that we're
definitely, it's
letting.
it's on the agenda, but,
Somebody's got to let them know that we're asking Carlson to do the
I hope she gets back.
well, that's going to be Tom's job.
4th of July.
Say.
We say, I'm talking again, since we've been right here.
July 15th is your next one? July 15th is your next one?
Yes, we meet
So
July
you can go back
15th.
on your agenda for the 15th.
Yes, but that way it's been through your home committee,
I hope
and
with
then
some
Barb can
results.
call you and talk to you about the job description. Okay? I think that's the best way to do it. But what does the committee feel like?
Yeah, I think
That-
that's the right way to go.
I think that's the right way to go. I mean, geez, otherwise you pay this
Tom?
guy, and then he tells you to stop
Tom?
doing it, and we keep doing
Kathy
it.
has something she needs to get done yesterday.
Okay.
No, they indicated that. This needs to go to Carlson Document.
We need to make it as easy as possible so it gets done as quick as possible to pull the JDQs of the current incumbents of all 3 of the positions, complete with their proposal there. and
Actually,
the
you
new
only have
proposal.
2 positions, don't
Yeah.
you?
One
There's 2
strand,
positions, but
yeah.
you're combining the job titles.
Just
So
so
we're having them pull the job description, the JDQs?
The JDQs of the incumbents, because we've got, unfortunately, one of these is a clerk typist, and you know where they fall all over the place.
Oh, yeah, they're all
Plus,
good, but
plus the
the
new
comments
one.
for, what positions are we talking, clerk typists?
Yeah, I'll show you which ones
You
they
give me the ones,
probably
okay,
need
all
to
right.
To actually
okay.
pull the
Yeah.
names for
Okay.
the,
Have them pull those,
And then
and
she's gonna give you a
2
job
of those.
description of the
new proposal.
yes. First, you need the job description. Have Barb call Kathy and find out the job description for it, and then she can make a determination from that.
Okay, so I'm gonna deal with them on.
you and I are gonna deal with it together.
Okay?
Because you got the info, so you and I will call
Yeah,
them
she's just
together.
gonna have to get her
I really would
proposed
like-
job description and let them go through trying to figure out through that little flunking it in.
It seems to me Barb's gonna have to talk to her.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. That's the only way.
We'll look at our calendars and figure out when.
Because PSC needs the 9th, and they'd like this to come them
Yeah.
first.
No, I won't be at probably the safety meeting, but I'm doing
Well, no,
interviews.
but if Barb can
you know.
talk to Kathy, they
Yeah,
can.
if I can have some numbers to give to PSC, it would be wonderful, and then come back here. I don't feel like,
Tom, they want to be able to take it to their home committee on the 8th or 9th, and then it'll come to us on the 15th.
We're meeting again on the 15th?
Yes, we are. And we're meeting at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yes.
Welcome to the donation time, huh? Yeah. Always.
But I definitely don't want this thing to fall in the pool here.
Look at the
I
cars.
want to make sure this gets taken care of.
Yeah, we'll, I have, PD and Z in the morning. I could skip that, because I don't need it to be there. I was just going to have a bit of one in a while. You want to meet right off the bat?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, sure. So I can get all copies.
Tennis, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Did we make a motion
Bill,
to send this to Carlson?
You want to come up
Yeah,
with
we
it?
will wait.
Then we'll call Bart, you know, and, I've got something at 11, so we'll,
Yeah, I
you know.
don't think it should.
Okay, now I think we're supposed to make an official motion on this.
That's correct.
I'll move to send the proposals and the incumbent information and JDQs and job descriptions and the proposed JDQ job descriptions to Carlson Detman for review and advice.
And we need a turnaround ASAP.
And that we needed for public safety.
Yeah, yeah.
That we would hope to have at least something preliminary for public safety, something.
And then put it on the agenda for the 15th.
If she's not come up with a
That's
copy
my
of
motion.
what they were doing.
It's a long-winded one, wasn't it,
I'll
Christine?
second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions to the motion? Everybody understand the motion, otherwise I'll have Christine read it. Everybody understands it. Bill, what do you?
I'll call
Yes.
you in the morning.
Jerry?
Yeah.
Bonnie?
At 10 o'clock.
Yes.
I'll come up here,
Yes.
we'll get a little bar.
Okay.
Judy has a good report.
Anything else?
No, thank you very much.
Absolutely. No problem.
Thanks,
Did we
Tammy.
get an answer yet?
He's talking.
He's still talking,
He's still
okay.
talking. That's where I work. Okay, so we got that one done.
Did we
talking?
give them
We can go wherever you want to go next. Resolution regarding opposition, you want to just talk about number 9? That should be a real quick one.
Yes, let's cover that one. I'll go back to that one. That you have in your packet.
Yeah, the resolution, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
It's simple.
It's,
You know, down at the state somewhere, they probably have those great big circular files for these things.
I'm sure they do. Anything that county board send down there.
well, let's have a motion to.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Amen.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any question of the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Bill?
Yeah.
Jerry?
Aye.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to see what's here. We got 9 done, okay. We got 10 done. We got everything else is complete.
You want to talk about management and employee evaluations?
Well, is there anything, oh, you're still waiting for Dan.
Yep, we're waiting.
Do you want me to go, let me just,
See if you got
yeah.
an answer on that.
Yeah, because you might be waiting for us.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it. The baby.
You didn't know Julie was pregnant?
Well, I mean, I didn't know who, I didn't see who it was.
Julia, my little girl.
Maybe 8 o'clock?
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
She left.
He's,
Who left?
no, I'm going to talk to Kathy about tomorrow. He's still talking and he's still talking.
Okay.
I told him that he's needed, but he's a lawyer in
Probably
Julia.
means he doesn't have, that means there's more to the question than we thought, I think.
I'm gonna,
And T's not on there anymore. It's gone.
You want to give us an update on the Human Services Department, maybe?
Sure, I can give you an update on that. We,
That would be- get that off the list.
we had a meeting with the,
20.
we had a meeting with two state people, Corey McFarland and Gene O'Leary.
Okay.
Whoops, wait a minute now, hold on. Oh, he's done. Good. And they basically gave us a go-ahead. We showed them our ambitious timeline, and they didn't seem to flinch, which was good.
I really like that timeline. I think it's real good.
So we have we're having our first ad hoc committee meeting this Thursday at DSS, and I'm going to outline basically the timeline once again, but also a little bit more specificity on the feasibility study and the implementation plan. I've been studying it like I'm back in graduate school, but it's this can be done. I'm really confident we can have this thing done.
Well, we're really shooting for January 1st or 2nd or whatever.
I think the only thing that'll hold us up is the state, and right now the state made it sound like they're not going to hold us up. So that's a big move.
Yes,
I spent part of while we were in closed session. I spent part of that time reading the Door County feasibility study, and they always say the height of compliments is to borrow what other people have written or plagiarize. But they have a great feasibility plan and a great implementation plan, and they're our size. So we can borrow from them some of the stuff that they're doing, and I just, I've talked to Rick and Kelly at length about this, and I think it's really just a matter of time. We do have to do some advocacy with some of the advocacy groups. We have to sit down with them, let them know what we're doing, make them part of it, but Corey McFarland sent an email to us this morning about that, and Rick responded saying that, yeah, we can do it. So, yeah, all it is right now is a matter of just getting it all organized and moving along. So, and I think after Thursday's meeting, we'll be well on our way.
You're doing a good work on that, Tom. The fact is that if you get any hiccups in that thing, make sure our committee knows about it right away.
Sure.
Okay.
Jerry's part of the committee. Bonnie's part of the committee.
Yep.
Deb and both you guys are on the. You're on the committees. I mean, everybody's gonna know what's going on. You guys are on the DCP board. You're on the Social Services board.
Okay.
You're comfortable being the point man with this, because it is quite an aggressive undertaking.
I'll be the point man to a point, because there's going to be a time when the leaders of the agency are going to have to take over, and I'll take a back seat. But in the meantime, no, I have no problem being the point man.
Okay.
I'm the only one in the county that has human services experience. Not that that's a badge of courage or that means I'm qualified, but I have some experience in that. So. And I've been studying human services departments probably since I started in this business 40 years ago. So
well, I'm really impressed that you grabbed this and you really went ahead on it and you got things going, and I am impressed about that. Dan, you got
have answers for us,
Back
Dan?
to the agenda item?
Yeah, sure, let's
I'm
return.
gonna read this because it's hard for me, as you know, to not be 100% correct in that and not be. But Diane was calculating overtime correctly under the FLSA by offsetting the premium holiday pay against the overtime owed to the employees for over 40. So she did it right according to the Fair Labor Standards Act. The question is, under our policy, do we want to still pay the give them premium overtime pay for working the holiday? Because you can do that. She was doing it based on the legal requirement, and she was correct. Apparently, we answered this question once before. So if I suggested she was wrong, I was wrong. I said that.
So now what you're saying? Are you saying?
It's the legal result Diane calculated legally correct. The question is, from a policy standpoint, what do you want to do?
Can we change the schedule?
What's that?
Can we change
That's
the
a different
schedule?
issue.
Other 24/7 departments.
What it also means, though, it's a weird thing when you have 6 days. So if the 6th day is the holiday, so let's say the 6th day work was July 4th, you only get time and a half.
Right.
You don't get triple time.
Right.
You don't stack on stack. So
And
it's a
that's all
situation
it
where
is.
that holiday lands.
That's exactly what we said.
But you have to make a policy. Diane was paid correctly according to the law. Our handbook does say FLSA is paid out, we pay overtime based on hours worked. It's just this, it's 29 CFR 778-203 says you get a credit. So essentially, if you take the credit, you're not paying them the holiday overtime or the holiday pay. I thought my initial thought was that was limited to actual overtime, where you pay overtime before you have to, but the FLSA provides it to a premium rate for hours worked.
Well, in this case, on 4th
You
of
just gotta
July,
make a
they're
decision
working
what you want to do.
48
What's the
hours,
intent of the
correct? And they're getting paid overtime for the 8 hours over the 40.
I guess what we're asking is, could you consider a benefit where we would still get holiday pay, but if that holiday was a different day than our 6th day, could we still get time and a half for day number 6? We're asking
No,
that.
They're asking for the holiday pay on that week.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And to consider that holiday as part of the 40 hours before overtime kicks in, right?
And obviously, if like they said, if the holiday happens to fall on day number 6, it's just time and a half for one day. It's not
Right, it's not like triple time.
right.
No.
Right.
And it never has
We've
been
always
before.
done it that way.
It's one of those quirky things
Yeah.
that comes up.
Yeah, well,
So
they're
are you
the only
paying,
quirky
are you
thing.
paying them time and a half?
They get time and a half on the holiday.
Yes.
When we look at overtime kicking in, we look for 40 hours of straight time, which means that the holiday is not considered part of the 40 hours.
That is
Okay, but,
I like
okay,
that.
so they're getting time and a half on the holiday if they work.
Correct.
Could they also take PTO that day as far as a payout?
As a payout, no, because
No.
our policy does not
Because they're
allow
working.
for payouts except the annual payout is the only thing that it allows.
Okay.
You know, this may affect anyone who works a holiday and then is forced to work overtime. It's going to apply to anyone.
Right, I mean,
It's not just the situation.
because theoretically, you could have somebody that works 40 hours during the week and may get called in to work on the weekend, but maybe that holiday, maybe one of the days during the week is a holiday.
There could be a credit in that situation too.
So,
I knew I shouldn't have come in on camera.
no, it's just that, I mean, there is FLSA, but you guys can make a decision to say the holiday is part of the 40 hours in calculating overtime, which means that if they work 5 days during the week and one of them happens to be overtime, but they get time and a half for that because that's what our policy says, that could still be considered part of the 40 hours during the week, and then if they work that 6th day, then they would get overtime.
But it could happen with a law enforcement officer that works, or a dispatcher works 5 days a week and gets called in on the 6th. If there's a holiday in there, you're going to be paying time and a half, anything over 40.
And the work period cannot apply to these.
That work period does not apply to these folks. That's
So in this
We
case,
can't
she is,
consider them partially
she's working 48 hours on the 4th of July. She's gonna get paid time and a half for one day.
Or you could say.
That's correct.
Right, that's the way we're doing it now.
That's the way we should do it.
That's the way we're doing it now.
That's the way we should do
The
it.
other way you can say is the holiday is part of the 40 hours, even though they're getting paid time and a half. And so anything over that 40 hours, which would include the holiday,
Then
is
that's double
we can
dipping.
pay
more or less.
overtime.
They're not, the overtime day and the holiday are not on the same day, though. They're two separate days.
Right.
That's what we're talking about, is when they're two separate days. Not if the 6th day and the holiday are the same day,
No.
but two separate days.
The
Considering
case that
you
you gave
always
us here,
pay this retroactively, why don't you just get a write-up on what this means, so you understand what you're
We really have
voting
good
on?
fiscal.
Because that's where I mean, you got to think through these things. That was my mistake in coming here and trying to answer too quickly. You got to stop and look at the rules, and then you can understand what you're. If you're going to create an exception, where else it applies, I understand.
Yeah, because I have a feeling it will apply somewhere else. 'Cause
They
what
may-
about guys
may
like
not.
on highway?
How often does it happen on the 6th?
The 6th day fall with the holiday,
Yeah.
out of 5 times this year is what will happen. 5 times, where the holiday is in the middle of their work week and the 6th day. It happens for 5 holidays.
If it happens for you, it'll happen for.
5 for each holiday, too.
It could happen on the highway too.
It could happen on highway because
Yes,
they've
it
got
could.
that weird.
Yeah, that's what I
That
was.
weird-
I misspoke.
But I believe the highway department does not work holidays
I
usually,
think
If it snows, they do.
but only when it snows. Dispatch works whatever the weather is. They don't get a holiday
I
off.
think it's gonna affect highway, you know, in bad weather situations, is where it would affect that.
Well, the way we're paying it, I think is the correct
Go
way.
back to 5 days.
I'd like to be nice. They're gonna go back to 5 days.
Going to 5 days instead of.
You're paying it according to
But
our
the
handbook
exceptions
says.
is just going to cause.
Yes.
Trouble, now we gotta.
To the extent I misspoke, I apologize. I wasn't thinking.
And I
That's why
don't
I
think
should
that's a hard decision.
You can put that in minutes.
So she's paying the correct way,
She's paying it the correct.
and that's the way I think we should continue.
Paying at the FLC.
I move that.
That's
Take
what
that
we
motion.
said in our handbook.
And that's,
I said I read it differently. I was
still think you should
The
get
legal way, right?
For working
They
on
do,
a holiday.
they do.
Right, for working over.
They're getting straight time for working on holiday.
Holiday.
Typically, you get time and a half.
Right, I think you should get benefit for working on a holiday.
Then again, that if you make an exception in one place, now you.
Well, do we have a problem here now, or do we got it? I need a motion.
I will second your motion too. I would like to do a nice thing too, but I can't keep making exceptions.
So we have a motion to continue the way we're doing?
No.
No? No?
Yeah, we did have a motion.
She made a motion, I'm sorry.
He made the motion, I
Oh,
seconded
okay,
it.
yeah, that's right. I said no.
So that's no, and yes?
No, I said yes.
I
I
see
said
yes.
yes.
Oh, there's 3 yeses. That's why you're only getting paid for one holiday, and you're only getting paid because you're over 40 hours.
But actually, you're not, but you just voted as you're only getting either the holiday or over 40. You took one of them away by what you just voted on. You aren't giving
No,
them
they're
both.
we're already paying according to law, right? Diane's
That's right.
doing it right.
Yes.
According to FLSA.
And we
That's
never at
right.
any point
And
were
that's what our
indicating
That's correct or not?
we didn't indicate that she was doing it wrong. That's not what we're trying to say. We're just
No.
we're trying to
asking for
request that you
something
consider
more.
Right.
We just said.
go ahead something, I guess.
Overtime pay on holiday.
Right.
Well,
Or
not
the
on the
scheduled
holiday, just,
overtime day, whichever
you
you
know,
want
our
to look
sixth
at.
day is going to be 48 hours in a week, whether there's a holiday with it or not. We're still working 48 hours. So
You have to get.
Okay, that was 3
we're
to 2.
well, yeah,
right?
you know, I know we're getting
That
straight
was
time,
3
and
to 2. We should move on.
I understand that. I guess we're asking for the holiday pay, you know, on Tuesday,
We just
and then day
voted
number
on
6,
that,
we're
though.
still getting that.
Okay.
That was our request.
3 to 2.
Let's move on. We've already passed that. Any update, Tom, on their
You're saying.
wage classification?
No, we're,
Never.
we've been at a standstill since they just.
You're saying, you're saying.
Can we do number 25? It actually is a budget.
I was that wrong when I first
Yeah,
came.
it won't take that long.
Discussion
Oh, right.
and possible action regarding revised workers' compensation rates.
Should have gotten a copy of a memo that we got from John Dirksey.
I think we did.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, so
We did. It was
he was looking at, the whole thing, he was looking at what we would pay if we were paying full rates, and we weren't paying full rates, and we haven't been.
It's this one right here.
So he recalculated the rates, which amounts to about a 25% decrease versus what he had originally said at 37%. So,
Okay, so he gave us the wrong number and he squared away enough to say so? Good man.
Yeah, he was.
yeah, I sent him an
Well,
email.
Dirksey is a good guy.
But that shouldn't change the action that we did for reducing.
You made a motion to reduce the rates by 37%.
Okay.
And with his recalculation, it actually decreases the rates by 25%, so we could vote
No, percentage though, why would it change?
because the numbers he was using to get to this.
Yeah, but we didn't use the numbers, we used the
He's
percentage.
using 465.
His numbers was, because he was using, I think he was using like the
465,000.
overpay, what the workers' comp rate is, but we've been using the same workers' comp rate since probably for 15 years, with just a little bit of tweak here and there for law enforcement and highway. because of the claims that they had. Otherwise, we were paying the same in workers' comp rates. At the state level, had we been buying insurance, we're going up, and that was at $460-some thousand. But when I went back to kind of look at what it would, and I'm going, wait a second, we aren't, what we are using for rates and what's coming in from the departments is not $467,000. And so if we would have decreased it, we would have just, by 37% the rates, we'd have never made it. So I called him, I sent him an email, and I said, please check the numbers again. So he did, and he recalculated everything and actually came up with the rates, and the rates amount to, well, I guess it's a 26% decrease versus 37% decrease.
Yep, right.
So you need for us to amend that number?
Yeah, and actually, if you want to approve just these rates, that would be good, or you could approve that they go down 26%, whichever you want. Is this what we do it as a percentage?
And we did it as a percentage.
Okay,
It
and
is
then
a percentage, and when they recalculated that, 37% came up to more than it was supposed to.
right, and we would have never had enough.
You just need a
Because
motion.
actually, the 37% was probably based more on the higher numbers. So, dollar-wise, it probably amounts to the same thing. Now we're taking 26% lower number.
And the 26%, of course, we still don't want to deal with dollars, do we?
No, but you can use the 26% because we know what the rates are based on 26% because he's got them all calculated for us.
You need a motion to approve the decrease of 20 by 26.
Yeah,
Not by 26%, to 26%.
by 26%. It was supposed to be by 37%, so now it's by 26%.
You made a motion, Jim?
I understand that, but it sounded like you were decreasing the 37% by
Oh, no,
another
no, 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 no,
26%.
no, no, no.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
Jerry, did you
send
make a
that
motion?
first 37, maybe that's what we're doing.
And your motion is to approve?
To replace them.
To replace the
Replace
37.
the 37 with
26.
26.
Okay, and anybody second that?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions for the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Bill?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You bet.
I'll take care of that.
I want to cover number 26 next. There's a policy packet, and we don't have it, although they used it in making up the handbook, according to what Dan and Deb said.
Yes, but we didn't want to include all of those policies with the handbooks because we were assured that everyone could access them on the H drive or the L drive, but board members can't.
Is that the old work rule thing that
No,
Frank
that's,
has?
no.
No,
Those
no,
are
no.
in the supplemental policies that are listed in both
Here, Tom.
manuals. There's cash handling policy,
Oh, okay.
Pat's just
tornado policy.
I want that back, Tom.
Sure.
Those were the ones that we kept asking for because we kept finding different.
We don't have them yet. Are they in our policy manuals?
Yes, they should be.
Oh, okay.
No, I think the board members want
No.
copies because they're on the H drive and the L drive. Every time we ask for them, it's like, oh yeah, everybody can get those, but we can't.
Okay.
Well, I told Christine to go on the H drive, but I didn't know there was another drive that she could, so I asked her to do some Dick Tracy work and see where all the
Those are
policies were. And I don't
supposed
know
to
how
be
far she got on that.
accessible to all employees. Those are the ones I had a hell of a time trying to get a hold of for Dan. We were trying to make sure that we didn't.
But on the policies, I want you to understand, on the policies, it tells us how to do things. And committees should know this. And we don't have anything to go on. Like the 1% carryover that I handed out today. It's what we can do with the 1% carryover, how it's the whole complete picture of it. And number 13 covers part of that. And I think that we should have that policy packet, and at least in this committee we should.
Budget policy 13 is referenced in the manual.
Okay.
But
So
there
you
are
want
other
us to
ones.
retrieve these?
And put them together for a packet for the board members that don't have access to the drives.
Yeah, and there's some that don't have a computer at all.
We just made a packet for all 27 board members, just to make it nice and
Yes.
simple.
All the employees are supposed to have the ability to go access these, but board members don't. And then they're asking about those supplemental policies listed at the end.
How come the board members don't, they just don't have access to whatever drive that, where did that come from, the H drive or something?
Yeah, we can't
I've never-
access that. Maybe that's a question that needs to be addressed, is why?
Yeah,
Okay.
H drive. So you want us to put together a booklet, basically,
Yes,
27, for all 27 board members
Yes.
with these supplemental policies?
Yes, yeah, I don't think you need that as a motion, I think.
Because if there's
Or just an order,
Just
just,
an
yeah,
order.
just do it, yeah.
That's right. The next thing I want to cover is that, let's do the TS computer equipment disposal. That is usually done by public property, and then somehow it gets to this committee, but it should get to this committee because Steve Hansen from TS reports to this committee. And Tom, did you find out anything? Was there any radio problems?
No, there wasn't any. I called
Okay.
Jeff Shue, we sort of played phone
Jeff
tag.
Shue called me at home.
Yeah, and he said there was no real issue, so.
Okay. Well, I got from a constituent.
Right, no, it's understandable.
Video problems with
Absolutely.
what?
With what?
With the repeaters on the radio system.
They changed it, right?
Well, they sort of.
They should have, yes.
You still having problems?
And then
Bill?
Wittenberg had to get all new stuff. Yeah, we have a big problem.
Yeah,
Cost
but
us
you don't
big
anymore
bucks.
now, right?
No, I don't think I'm doing it. Just now, right? I mean,
Well,
just recently we changed.
It was reported to me, Bill, by a constituent that they were having repeater problems, and so I called Tom, and I said, Tom, just check it out to make sure that we don't have problems. I don't want the fire department or the police department having problems with their radios, because TS reports to this committee.
Right. And I want to say, when did they change over? 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
Gosh, I don't even know, yeah.
It's just recently now.
Right, yeah.
They changed over, and we had to get all new repeaters.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yes.
I'm going to ask the committee, would they like to talk with Steve Hansen today? I know he's busy on
We had
another
to get all
project.
new.
The person to talk to really is Jeff Shue, he's on vacation.
No, his boss is
No,
the way we
Cost
should
us
do it.
$300 a unit. Because
Really?
they changed over, yeah.
Oh, how many units you got?
I can't remember the number.
Just a guess.
Um,
How long, how far in advance did you know that was coming, that you were gonna have to do that? At the town level? I mean, or was it just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way? I mean,
you know, I can't say for sure, but I think it was, oh yeah, by the way.
okay, because that's not right to do that to the towns.
Because I just heard, I mean, it wasn't since we've had our last meeting, it was all in that time frame.
Did we get Steve up there? Is he still working or is he going?
He's with
Right
Dan
now,
right now.
they didn't.
Yeah, we had something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to
they
put
were
that on the
very upset.
15th then again?
Yes. I want him up
They were
there.
very upset that,
So did that happen to all the other towns too then, or just?
you know, and I don't know why it wouldn't have, because we went along with everything that's been going.
Okay.
We had all of our stuff switched over to whatever they wanted, and now all of a sudden they changed something and we needed new radios.
So you wouldn't have had any way to budget, no way to apply for grant funding, no way to nothing?
Not to my knowledge, no. I don't think so.
Well, we got.
I mean, and you know, we have a district now, so I'm just giving you what they told me. I wasn't in the meetings or anything, but the fire chief told me, and one of my district representatives told me, yeah, we had to do this, or our guys aren't going to get their pages.
Well, we'll have
Give us
Steve.
a
Put it on the agenda for the 15th.
Yes,
just Steve
definitely
up
want
there.
him up here.
I'm
In
gonna
fact,
say
I want him up for every meeting.
20 or
from now on.
better.
Do you want all the department heads that you oversee?
I want
Nancy and,
every month that we oversee. Yes,
you know.
yes.
Now,
That we don't,
Tony may be a little because he's in and
Yeah.
out so much, but
But we
But you want
got,
Nancy and Steve and obviously me, and,
We were supposed to have that rotation thing. We acted
yeah, I don't
on
know what
that
ever happened with that, that's sort of
months, a
fell
year
by the
ago,
wayside.
and it never, right.
well, Tom
Want
and
that
I
back
usually
on
meet
the rotation
a
again.
day or two, and Christine, I had a gas leak, and they couldn't find it. I got billed big, well, I got billed $100 for it, but they still didn't find my gas leak, so. And that's why I couldn't make the meeting with Tom and Christine, so.
So you want
So what do
Steve, you want Steve to have your meeting, Nancy
Yes.
also?
Yep.
Nancy also?
Yep.
Well, she should at least be on some kind of rotation basis.
Well,
because we haven't
well, you know
talked to
what?
her since I don't know when.
Let's see if we can bring them both up here on the 15th, you guys can talk to them, and then you can determine if you want to do it, if you have a month or
Kind
whatever.
of a beefy agenda. Let's not start.
Especially the county board is questioning things. That we had a question.
Yeah, we don't
I
want.
think it was from Dennis Knack about what's wrong with administration
This-
tabs on TS, and we want to keep tabs.
Oh, sure.
This can't happen on the 15th though, because this can't.
Will never.
It
This
can't.
would, this
And
would
money
be,
on the agenda.
30.
What do you look
Yeah,
at?
this can't happen.
oh, no,
Yeah, to do
well,
this.
I'm not gonna preach, but I'm gonna say, we don't do the agenda, it comes from you guys, it doesn't come from us.
Okay.
All these agenda items come from committee members or board members, not us.
And I'm
You
the
know,
one that took off the
so-
other one, the one
Yeah,
with the sheriff's
yeah.
department, and that's
We've
right.
already.
But I had planned if we didn't get through, my idea was we try and get it as much as we could, and if
And
we
we'll
couldn't
go
get
on
through, I'd
15.
set another meeting date.
Did we act on this disposal thing yet?
No.
No, we didn't.
What do you guys at Public Property do on this?
Public property, what we do is we just say, let's make a motion to dispose
Yeah.
of these
You want
items.
to come?
No, he's working now,
cost
no,
effective.
not today, but he's coming up the 15th.
And
They
these,
typically will
Thank you.
put them out there.
We used to put
On the
these up
internet.
for bids.
Well, we do.
We hadn't seen that happen for a long time. And then there was that other guy, what's his
We
name?
discussed
The one
this
with
every
the car.
time this comes.
Yeah, because there's no. There
We've
should
had,
be.
we've actually gotten paid for some of these.
Okay, because
Yeah, I know there were times we couldn't give them away and we had to pay to dispose of them.
there are
I
some
know.
times where we got paid to get rid of.
The,
We've gotten paid.
the recycling thing we did, we have to pay for the TVs, but everything else we get paid to get to them. The only thing we don't get paid for are the TVs. They actually charge us to get rid of the TVs. So that goes against what we give them, and I don't know if that includes monitors. It's the TV, is the monitor a TV?
I don't know if it covers that bill or not.
Right,
and the
but
NW is not working.
Yeah, but that's. Who verifies that? Because I remember there were a bunch of non-working ones before that.
Well, Steve says everything is taken out.
And put where?
Well, anything that has county data on it.
Okay, he wipes the drives. That doesn't make a machine non-working. You just put an operating system back on and it works.
Oh, sure. But you gotta put a new system in there. You know, you gotta buy it and put it in there.
Right.
And this
Or reinstall if you have the licenses, which each of these machines from
so all these
does.
HPDCs are computers?
No, each copy of Windows has to have their
770s?
original, but they do. They've got a
PCs?
It came with it.
PCs
Right,
are computers.
I got Windows 7 now. And I
They
had a
came
lot
with it.
of
They've got a little sticker on it.
Well, it says 27.
You're right, it does.
You know?
Well, I know that Trudy was telling you that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's.
Do you know why she wanted them back?
I do not.
Tom, do you know why Trudy wanted them back?
My guess is because we have employee names,
I think
We always gave
information.
them back.
It's confidential
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we always gave them back.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did, Bill.
Yes. Look at them, you'll see there's even citizens on here too. I
Absolutely.
know. So I think it's, more than likely it's a confidentiality thing.
You know, this was something that we talked about with,
When he was here?
I got a mental block. When he was here,
John,
John. And we talked about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't much we can do about it except, I think, insist that they have the safety meetings where all the problems are coming from one department. Because we can't have, some of these are repeated, you know. And I think if we don't jump on them, we'll make sure that they're having the safety meetings. It's gonna continue like this.
We had a safety committee meeting earlier this year after the handbook was completed. Christine and I did with the departments that it spelled out in the handbook. And we found out, much to our great surprise and pleasure, for lack of a better term, most departments have their own safety committees up and running.
They do.
Yes.
Well, that's good to hear.
Which is very good. And, you know, we intend to continue on with this, with the safety committee, obviously, because it says in the handbook we have to. But before I call a meeting, I want to make sure we have enough on an agenda. Instead of calling all these guys to come over and meet for 5 minutes, I want to make sure. So we're going to probably meet quarterly to start off with. But the last time we met, which was in March or April, the departments that met with us, they all have their own safety committees and they have their own safety meetings. So,
okay.
There was a whole thing though that because of a public building, that's why you are the head of the safety
I'm the
chair.
guru
I mean,
of
it's-
safety, yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah, someone's got to be.
somebody's got.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it, you know, sure.
Okay, then I want to talk, the last thing I want to talk about is that evaluations.
I've been compiling some of them. We've got a few that we're, you know, Christine and Judy and I want to work on. It's just getting the time to do it, that's all. You know, hopefully maybe we'll have the 15th if we can. We'll have a prototype for you, but we'll have something. Okay. Also, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Carlson Denman going to give us some examples or something too, which I haven't seen yet? But were they going to, or am I just dreaming that?
No, I think I remembered hearing something.
I thought something about that
different
too, yeah.
Evaluation
Yeah.
systems.
I could give Charlie a call or send him an email and ask him if he's got anything. You know, I haven't done that.
I think he had multiple different things he was
Right.
going to propose, and I don't notice that we got that far yet.
I haven't.
And, you know, one of the things,
I think he's taking the month off.
one of the things
He said
that
the month off.
we should, or maybe you should, Tom, because you're administrative coordinator, is make sure that each month that they're having their evaluations, and, I mean, their safety meetings and check on their evaluations, make sure that at least each employee should be evaluated once a year.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I agree.
It can fall in the crack, and I don't think it should.
It does too with a lot of organizations. It does fall in the cracks. It's one of those necessary evils, I call it. We have to do it. We should do it. And somehow we always find a reason not to do it.
Okay, the monthly reports from the administration, corporate council, child support and tech services. Did everybody have a chance to review those? If you did you see any questions on anything that you would like, something that brought to our attention of the committee? If not, I entertain a motion that we approve them for the month.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, just for a second, on the final point in the administrative department's, or my report, I talk about the DOL investigation. If you have any questions after you read that, let me know. I've got a file on it. I even brought the file with me. If you want copies of what transpired during that investigation, I've got it all right here. Just to let you know. Somebody had mentioned that they wanted some report done.
Yes.
And I talked to Tony, and Tony said the best way to do it is just write a short one, put it at the end of your report, which I did. But I do have everything here. If anybody wants to spend some time talking about that investigation, I've got all the information we have right here.
I appreciate that, Tom, because I think that I know the one I would like to know.
If you want to go
So
into
is
closed
that-
section next meeting or whatever you want to, however you want to handle it, I'll be good. If you want me to make files for each one of you guys, you know, we've got it. I mean, this is
think if you make a
this is what I
file-
compiled from the investigation. All the emails we wrote back and forth.
Yep.
The letter telling what the problem was. The letter saying we took care of what we were supposed to do. Tony's correspondence with everybody. It's all right here. So.
Right, I want to make sure that
I
that
think
this
we should.
committee knows everything about it.
Right.
And how is this not a public record when you're talking about closed session?
Because there's names,
Because there's
personal
names, employee names, there's employee names in there. It's loaded with employee names. You know, so,
What is your feelings on
How is
this?
that not a public record?
I don't know. Tony helped write that, so we may have to talk to Tony about that too. But I just think because of all the names that are on there, you know, not the one you're looking at, Bonnie, that's the.
Well, just because your name is in something doesn't mean that it's exempt from disclosure.
Right. That's a question for Growski or Cordes, I guess. Not to make light of it, but, you know, I'm you know, the old social worker in me comes on, and I just don't like seeing names out in public.
Well, I don't either unless it affects the county.
But if you want me to, I can make a file for each one of you from this, if that's what you want, or just have it available for you guys to read. Just have it available. I'll make one copy, you guys can share it or whatever.
Does it exist
That's
in
the
electronic
DOL
format?
That's the DOL investigation, so this is my file from it. Pardon me?
Does it exist in electronic format?
Some of the email probably does, but the report the first report from the Wage and Hour Division does it, that's hard copy. And their response to when we completed everything is hard copy also. So,
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I'd like a copy of it, yeah,
I would
but I
too.
guess I don't really know why it shouldn't be, why it is, how it's not a public record. He's not gonna be, don't do that to him on the spot, he's just been switching gears all over the
I'll
place.
talk to you later about this.
No,
I would like a
I'll talk
copy of
to
it, but I'm kind of curious as to why it's not, just because somebody's name is in something doesn't make it exempt from disclosure.
I know, but
For
it's,
Christ's
again,
sakes, look what they did to you and me in the press. Now, our names were in that, there was nothing to it, but,
that was a
you
criminal
know,
activity.
Well,
I'm the drug lord of Gresham. I just want to, I tell people that. I am.
It's on
Drug lord of
camera
Gresham.
now.
I know it is. I know.
Tom,
You know what? I don't care.
Make 5 copies.
Make 5 copies,
Yes.
will do.
Yes.
We'll have a
are we
little booklet for
talking
everybody.
about this
Yes.
and
Okay.
that?
I definitely want to look
because
into it.
Sure.
that's
Sure.
really,
Well,
but
Everything is
I
here.
don't
It's
care
all right here,
because
so.
Okay.
If there's someone scamming and the public knows, well, I see somebody out there swimming or riding bike.
okay, maybe, yeah, maybe that does dovetail.
Or golfing and they have a back injury, I would feel a little suspect, right?
Maybe it does dovetail.
You bet that you, and I'm sure most of
Okay.
our employees are honest, but
We've covered everything, we've set a meeting date. Is there any letters or communications, anything for me?
keeps
Maybe
everybody
we
honest.
do need to know why is this exempt from disclosure?
Some of it could be because we're talking injuries, so now we're talking possibly HIPAA violations. Again, that's a guess. That's a
I don't
guess.
You know what they're talking about?
HIPAA is really more for insurance than anything else, so.
Well,
It's
no.
after 5 and he doesn't answer
No,
questions
I
after
know.
5.
He's on overtime, look out, look out.
It's the county mutual at the top.
It's got employees' names in there and what their injury was and everything.
Yeah, but names are not, that doesn't, just a person's name doesn't make any.
What did that?
I'd have to look, and I'll see if that's attached to you.
Why don't we just hand them in? And then if they don't need it next
If I give you one, it'll
time,
be the other. I can-
I would appreciate you do that.
You want them to know?
Yeah,
Christina?
okay, if nothing else.
I don't know any of the people anyways. Even if I saw them jogging down the street, I couldn't help you.
You wouldn't know.
I want to make sure that we, as a committee, thank you, Dan, for coming in and sitting with us and giving us advice. And
She's gonna bill you for it.
I know that, but at least you got to thank him for billing us. But thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
You guys have really been here too long.
Yeah, haven't we?
No, that's after 5, yeah.
Yeah, we've done it.
So we're
Okay.
meeting next time on the 15th. Wednesday, Wednesday? What day is that?
15th is
Tuesday the 15th.
What is that, Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Description.
And the only reason is that 9
We got
o'clock
public
is...
property on the, that's 6:30.
I have 9 o'clock meeting,
but,
1:30 meeting, and Nina and Ben.
When we do it. Jerry.
And that's okay.
Oh, the
Yes,
Okay, any Anybody got anything else? And I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion to adjourn.
I need a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.